Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons. I'm going to be making some croissants and some pain au chocolat. Hello there, I'm going to show you in this video how I made these beauties. Lovely, beautiful buttery croissants and some pain au chocolat. Okay, so let's start off with some dried yeast in some tepid water with the sugar. Give it a little stir, leave that alone for 10 minutes or so. Come back, it's getting frothy. You know that your yeast is alive and you can carry on. Add the milk, and you could have added the milk earlier. I don't know why I didn't. I just didn't. Now, here we go. Sifting the strong white flour, bread flour, with the salt. And I'm going to be kneading this by hand, because my stand mixer is absolutely rubbish. One day I'll get a new one. That was the yeasty mixture going in. I don't think you needed to explain that. And there you go. So you're going to see me working away at this. Just bring it together to a shaggy dough in the bowl and then onto the table, and let's get busy. Now, croissants are really fattening, so actually having this 10 to 15 minute workout isn't the worst idea in the world. So croissant, however you say it. It is a French name, and they were sort of created in Paris, I believe, in a Viennese boulangerie. So it was sort of like a crossover between an Austrian pastry, which has already existed since the 13th century, known as kipfert, and the French sort of created the crescent shape, which gives them their name. There you go. That's quite interesting, I think. So with hand kneading, just stretch it out, curl it back on itself, tuck it over. We're stretching the glutens, we're creating a network in there. All these words that the more I watch bread making videos and have a go at it, it's sort of, that's what they say. I still don't really understand it. What I'm doing there is I'm just trying to see how strong it is, and that was strong. I mean, you pull any dough hard enough, it's going to come apart. So it's pretty much there. Right, I just thought, okay, let's go for a minute longer, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to form that into a ball. I'm going to give it a little press with my fingers, and there you go, it responds. It's coming back. It's ready. It's ready. So, time to prove. Into the bowl, a little bit of oil in there. Toss it around so it's coated. That'll stop it drying out, and it will allow it to prove. Cover it. I like to cover it with a plate because I'm saving the planet in my own little way. And while that's proving, let's make our butter slab. So, obviously, on this channel, I should be sponsored by butter. Yeah, Yeo Valley, get in touch. I'll be more than happy. We're forming a butter slab. A thin, sort of, I don't know, 1/4 inch, 5 to 6 mil sort of thick butter slab that is going to fit inside the dough, and we're going to do laminating. So I've got the size right, but I want to get the shape right. So let's work on those sides. Let's get those nice and squared off. And you'll see there you go. So we can pop that in the fridge now to be cold. And voila, the dough has proved beautifully. So let's turn that out of the bowl. We're going to degas it, basically. We're going to punch out the air that we put into it. Going to form that into a rectangular shape. And it's going to go in the fridge for at least 2 hours. The best idea really is to try to do this part the day before. But as I say, I'm a working man now, so I'm a busy boy, so I'm trying to get this done all in one day, on my day off, when my lady's out at work. Form that into a rectangle, pop it in the fridge. 2 hours later, we're going to roll it out. You can see it's still proved a bit even again in the fridge. It's quite a yeasty mixture, a little bit more than a normal bread, this one. So forming this into a long rectangle. That's not big enough yet though, so got to keep working on it, but try to get the edges as sort of straight and the corners reasonably square. You're going to have to use flour when you do this, you can't avoid it, but just try not to use too much, and from time to time you may want to brush off some of the excess flour, especially when we're folding this, because we want the pastry to stick to the pastry, to adhere. And here we go, that piece of pastry has been rolled out, or the dough, to at least double the size of the butter so that it can completely encase it. So go up to one end but within the border, like so, and we're going to fold that over. What I'm just demonstrating to you there is the butter. I took it out of the fridge sort of 5 minutes before I took the dough out. I don't want it to be completely hard, because when we try to roll this out, we need the butter to actually go where the pastry goes, go where the dough goes. That doesn't make any sense. If it's completely hard, it's brittle, it will snap, and then you won't have a solid piece. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to create many layers, something like 72 or 81 layers of dough, fat, dough, fat, dough, fat. That technique there, the pressing technique, also helps keep the butter where you want it. If you just roll straight at it, you might push the butter to one end, and that's not good either. So you can see what we've done there. We've successfully rolled that out again into what we're basically doing is a rectangle, a long big rectangle, the size that we had it before, the same sort of thickness, and this is the first of the turning. So traditionally when I've made croissants before, you do 3 single turns. This technique I like is you do a double turn and then a single turn, so you're saving yourself a bit of time. So go to sort of 2/3 or so of the way across, and then rather than overlapping, bring that side, that edge, to meet, well, you can see basically. And then I am being a bit pedantic here. I want to take my time. I want to stretch out the corners to try to get them to meet, and I'm going to use my fingertips. I'm going to press these 2 bits together, and then I'm just going to press them again with the rolling pin to secure it completely. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we can complete the double turn, or as the French would say, turn double, basically by folding it like a book. So already we've got multiple layers of dough and fat, and obviously that's why it lifts. If you didn't know that, same with puff pastry, the butter will boil in the oven and it will create steam and it will lift. That's why they're so gorgeous and light and fluffy and just fantastic. But you need to chill that again, because you don't want the butter getting too soft, otherwise it will just squish into the dough and we won't have the layers that we want. So making croissants is quite technical really, but as long as you follow the method, you can't really go wrong. And the other key thing is choose a really nice butter, unsalted butter of course, and the better quality butter that you use, the better the croissants will be. And every time we're going to do these folds, I'm brushing off the excess flour like that. I'm just using my pastry brush, but you could just use your hand, a bit of tissue, doesn't really matter. So this is now the final turning, and this is going to be a single turn or a simple turn. Not a simpleton, that's me. All right, then fold that over that like a business letter, and there you go. That basically, that's the work done. The next thing we've got to do is basically roll these out, but you need to chill it again. There's a lot of going back in the fridge, so at least 1 hour, or like the next day, doesn't matter. Your dough's done, so it's ready for you when you want. I'm taking some of it here, and I'm just going to show you a sort of what I might call a medium, a regular size croissant. So I'm going for one that the length of the croissant, well, when the width is going to be 9 inches, like 24 centimeters. It's not absolutely crucial. It doesn't matter really. Whatever size your croissants are, they're going to be gorgeous. But I do want to square it off. I want to make nice straight lines. But don't worry, all those trimmings I either re-rolled or I just rolled them up on the tray later and just had weird looking croissants, but they were absolutely gorgeous. So keep those trimmings, don't throw them away. And what I'm doing here is I'm cutting isosceles triangles, so 2 sides the same size, the long sides, and 1 short side. You can't really see that well from this angle, but don't worry, I'm going to make some more in a minute and you'll see that a bit better. This is the technique. You start at the square end, not the pointy end, and you roll it firmly but gently, all the way up until you get to the tip. Make sure the tip is at the bottom like that. Give it a little press down and then show the camera because you're really, really proud. Look at it. It's lovely. I made that. And continue with the rest of them. And I say, if some of them don't look great, if they're misshapen or you've got, it wasn't a perfect triangle, who cares? You're going to absolutely love these. So that says, once you've got those all done, you've got them on a tray, reasonably spaced out so they're not too close to each other. Brush them with beaten egg and allow them to prove in a warmish environment until they're doubled in size, or they're fluffy, they're puffy. There you go. They are now having their second egg glazing before going into the hot oven. And it's sort of, you cook them at that temperature, 200 or 392 Fahrenheit, and then turn the oven down a bit, give them another 10 minutes or so, until they are gorgeous. The colour is absolutely, yes, really inviting. They're light and they're ready, and you've got to cool down. Don't eat them when they're hot, guys. Try to resist. Let them cool down to at least warm before you get stuck in. So this is I'm going to make two sort of smaller styles, and obviously including the pain au chocolat. So a really large rectangle that I then cut in half. So this is a better view of cutting the triangles. I'll speed that up a little bit. Get a little production going here. And I'm just going to run through shaping these one more time. There's another little technique I've seen a few guys doing where you sort of stretch out the tips. And yeah, it's easy really once you get in the hang of it. Roll it up to the end. Give it a little press down. That one actually is pretty untidy. But you're not going to care. You're just not going to care when you're eating it. There we go. You get your eye and you get a little bit better at it. This one. This is the one. Gorgeous. What you can do as well, if you're making a lot of these and you don't think you want them all, when you put them on a tray like this, pop that tray in the freezer, get them absolutely solid, then you can put them in a bag, and then the day before you think, oh, I want some croissants in the morning, you can take them out, put them on a tray, and in the morning they're ready to go in the oven. Fantastic. So this is the pain au chocolat. So this time, rather than triangles, we're going with a rectangle. I got a big bar of chocolate, just that is a milk chocolate, whatever you fancy really. Cut the chocolate up into bits. Here's another look at it. So put one bit in, roll it over, put another bit on top of that, and roll it all the way to the end. And of course, the seam at the bottom, otherwise they'll unravel. And that's it, that's making pain au chocolat. Obviously those were double egg brushed as well, and if you didn't want them before, you're going to want them now. Look at that. Honestly, that was so good. I'm so happy with the way they turned out. Lovely, flaky, crispy on the outside, buttery all the way through, just fantastic. And I'm going to hand you back over to me. Right then, that was a long day making these. So are they any nice? Are they good? I'll find out. So still just warm. I think it's important to let them cool down a bit. Oh God. So about a third of that is butter, and I'm going to put some more butter with it. Because, really. And a bit of jam. Like. Oh my God. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's got this wonderful crunch to it. And then this lovely sort of flaky, soft texture inside. Gorgeous. Okay. Pain au chocolat. I've never actually made pain au chocolat before. Still just warm. Oh my God. And last week, the instructions were English breakfast tea with your scones. Coffee. Coffee with a pain au chocolat, come on. Oh no. Oh, wow. What a mess I've made. Absolutely stunning. I'm so happy with those. Yeah, have a go at making croissants or pain au chocolat or both. Let me know how you get on. See you soon. Bye.